Part 1. The Power of Walking Without Applause. Hook. What if I told you the biggest reason you feel stuck isn't because people don't help you, but because you keep waiting for them to? Think about that for a moment. Every excuse, every complaint, every time you say, "No one understands me," you're giving away your power. The truth is, the people who rise the highest in life aren't the ones who get the most support. They're the ones who stop expecting it. Now imagine this. You're moving through life with zero need for approval. No more waiting for validation. No more disappointment when no one shows up. Just pure self-drive. Once you accept that no one is coming to save you, you finally gain the freedom to live on your own terms. And that changes everything. Let's break this down into 6 lessons, each one a stepping stone to turning silence, rejection, and loneliness into unstoppable strength. 1. The weight of silence. Every morning, you wake up hoping someone will notice you. You want people to see how hard you work. You wish someone would recognize your struggles, or at least ask, "Are you okay?" But most days, silence answers back. That quiet feels heavy, like a stone pressing on your chest. You start to wonder, do I even matter? Here's a hard truth that will also set you free. No one is coming to save you. Take Abraham Lincoln, for example. Before he became one of America's greatest leaders, he knew deep loneliness. His mother died when he was just 9 years old. He lost election after election. Critics mocked him, rivals crushed him, and even close allies doubted him. But Lincoln learned something vital. Waiting for others to care would get him nowhere. Real change started when he accepted he had to carry his own troubles. And he carried them with courage. Think of a farmer working his field alone. The sun beats down on him, sweat soaks his shirt, and his back aches from bending over. No one cheers while he plants seeds. No one claps when he pulls weeds. But every day, he keeps working. Weeks later, the field turns green. Months later, the harvest comes. His reward isn't applause. His reward is the food he grew with his own hands. That's how you build yourself. Don't wait for recognition. Start today by picking one small goal, something that matters to you. Write it down. Work on it daily. Don't announce it. Don't wait for praise. Just keep showing up. Each step whispers to you, "I am strong." Soon, silence won't crush you. Silence will become the space where you hear your own voice more clearly. 2. Walking alone builds the strongest steps. Most people fear walking alone. They crave company, reassurance, or at least someone to say, "You're doing great." But here's the secret. Strength grows fastest when no one's watching. Nikola Tesla, one of history's most brilliant inventors, understood this. While Thomas Edison was surrounded by teams and investors, Tesla worked mostly in solitude. People laughed at his strange ideas. Scientists dismissed him as crazy. Yet he trusted his vision. He kept experimenting, often in poverty, with no applause. Today, we live in a world shaped by his inventions. Now picture a student studying late at night. Everyone else is asleep. The room is quiet except for the sound of turning pages. No one sees the frustration when they read the same paragraph 3 times. No one claps when they solve practice problems over and over. But when test day comes, the student shines. Success blooms from the seeds they planted in silence. Here's a challenge. Pick one hard task this week and do it completely on your own. Clean your garage, run a mile, or learn something new. Don't announce it. Don't ask for applause. Just do it. Every time you finish something in solitude, you add another brick to your foundation. Brick by brick, you build inner strength that no storm can tear down. 3. The freedom and no expectation. One of life's biggest sources of pain is expecting too much from others. You hope your friend remembers your birthday. You hope your boss praises your hard work. You hope your family understands your feelings. But often they don't. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled one of the greatest empires in history, left behind wisdom that still guides us today. Peace comes when you stop demanding that life be easy and people be perfect. When you expect nothing, you can't be disappointed. And when you can't be disappointed, you're free. Think of a runner training at dawn. No one watches them jog down empty streets. If they expect cheers, they'll quit. But if they expect nothing, they run for themselves. They run because they love strength, speed, and growth. When race day arrives, the applause is nice, but unnecessary. They already know their worth. Try this. Each morning, whisper to yourself, "No one owes me anything today." At first, it sounds harsh. But soon, it feels freeing. You'll stop waiting. You'll start creating. And when someone does recognize you, it feels like a gift, not a need. 4. The quiet turns into clarity. At first, silence feels heavy. But once you stop chasing attention, silence becomes your ally. It becomes the space where you think clearly, hear your own voice, and finally understand what you truly want. The heavy weight that once crushed you transforms into strength. Instead of silence pushing you down, it pushes you forward. This is where greatness begins, not in applause, but in clarity. 5. Becoming your own companion. Walking alone doesn't mean hating people or avoiding friendships. It means you're no longer afraid of being left behind. You've proven to yourself that your own feet can carry you forward. The road might feel empty at first, but here's the secret. When you realize the road belongs only to you, it stops feeling lonely. Every step is your choice. Every direction is your decision. That's power. 6. The first step to freedom. The day you stop expecting others to rescue you is the day you become unstoppable. Silence becomes strength. Solitude becomes training. And no expectation becomes freedom. Write this down. I am enough to start. I am enough to continue. I am enough to win. This is the mindset shift that will carry you through life. No more waiting for validation. No more asking permission. No more giving away your strength. You don't need applause to rise. You only need courage to begin. White heavy check mark. That's part 1. Around 1,000 words, reshaped into a Napoleon Hill style motivational story for American readers. Simple, direct, inspiring, and story-driven. Would you like me to continue with part 2, the next 1,000 words, new lesson with story, right away? Part 2, the mirror and the firehook. Here's a question most people avoid. When was the last time you looked in the mirror? Not to fix your hair, not to check your clothes, but to face yourself? The truth is, too many of us spend our lives pointing fingers. We say we failed because no one helped us. We say we're unhappy because no one cared. We tell ourselves stories about how other people held us back. But there's one place we rarely look, the mirror. And that's where the real answer lives. Because in the mirror, you meet the only person who can truly change your life, you. This chapter is about 2 forces that can transform your life if you let them, the mirror and the fire. The mirror shows you the truth. The fire gives you strength from your pain. Together, they unlock the freedom to live on your own terms. Let's break it into 6 lessons. 1. The mirror never lies. Mahatma Gandhi is remembered as one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. But when he was young, the world did not respect him. He was thrown off a train in South Africa simply because of his skin color. He was mocked, pushed aside, and humiliated. He could have spent his life angry at others. He could have wasted his strength pointing fingers. Instead, he asked a harder question: what can I do? By looking inward first, Gandhi found his power. He decided to change himself, to become stronger, calmer, more disciplined. And because he transformed himself, he eventually transformed millions of lives. The mirror is harsh, but it's also honest. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't pity you. It simply reflects back the truth. The person responsible for your future is staring right at you. 2. The farmer and the dead land. Imagine a farmer who buys a patch of land. The soil is dry, cracked, and stubborn. Neighbors laugh at him, saying, "What a fool! Nothing will grow there." He could complain. He could beg for help. He could feel sorry for himself. But instead, he studies his land. He learns what it needs. Slowly, he works the soil with his own hands. Months pass. The earth softens. Seeds begin to sprout. By the time harvest comes, he has more food than he needs. The same neighbors who laughed now line up to buy from him. That farmer didn't blame anyone. He didn't wait for help. He looked at the land he had and asked, "What can I do with this?" That's the mirror at work. Your life might feel like dry, stubborn land right now. But if you work it with your own hands, it can bloom. 3. A daily mirror practice. Here's how you can practice this in your own life. Every morning, stand in front of the mirror. Don't focus on your face. Don't get lost in your flaws. Instead, ask one question. What can I do today without anyone's help? Maybe it's organizing your space. Maybe it's reading one chapter of a book. Maybe it's solving a problem you've been avoiding. The point isn't how big or small it is. The point is that you take action without waiting for applause. Each time you follow through, your reflection changes. The person you see begins to look stronger. At first, you see someone who needs saving. Over time, you see someone who does the saving. 4. Turning pain into fire. Now let's talk about fire. Life hurts. We've all faced moments that feel unbearable. Loss, rejection, failure. The natural instinct is to wish someone would take the pain away. But here's the truth. No one can carry your pain for you. And that's not a curse, it's an opportunity. Because pain, when handled right, becomes your fuel. Take Helen Keller. At 19 months old, she became both blind and deaf. Imagine that, living in a world without sight or sound. Her parents loved her, but they couldn't take away her struggle. Helen could have given up. Instead, she turned her pain into fire. She learned to read, to write, to speak. She went to college. She wrote books. She became a global symbol of strength. Her pain didn't destroy her. It built her. 5. The young man who lost everything. Picture a young man who loses his job. He's broke. Bills pile up. Friends are too busy to help. Family can't afford to step in. The pain is sharp. It feels like failure. He has two choices: collapse under the weight, or use that pain as fire. He chooses the fire. He takes courses online. He learns new skills. He hustles harder than ever. Months later, he lands a better job than the one he lost. What looked like destruction became the foundation of a stronger life. You can do the same. Take a piece of paper. Write down the pain that burns in you. Maybe it's rejection. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's heartbreak. Next to it, write these words: "This is my fire." When the pain returns, and it will, remind yourself, this isn't here to kill me. It's here to forge me. 6. From victim to victor. Think of pain like winter. Cold. Hard. Silent. On the surface, it looks like everything is dying. But underground, roots grow stronger. Seeds prepare for spring. That's what pain does to you. It strengthens your roots. It prepares you for growth. When you stop waiting for others to take your pain away, you gain control. Your pain becomes your teacher. Your fire becomes your guide. Point: one day, people will look at you and wonder how you became so strong. They won't see the countless silent nights, the heavy silence, the hard land, or the endless winters you endured. They'll only see the light you carry now, and you'll know the truth. It was the mirror that showed you who was responsible, and it was the fire that gave you the strength to rise. White heavy check mark. That's part 2, about 1,000 words, restructured into 6 lessons, story-driven, motivational, and in line with Napoleon Hill's style. Would you like me to continue with part 3? Where we go even deeper into building unshakable self-drive, new stories, new lessons? Part 3. Walking through the fire. Lessons that forge inner strength. 1. The rope you carry inside. The power of self-reliance. One cold morning in Boston, a young man woke to find a notice nailed to his door. The factory he worked at had closed. No paychecks. No job. No safety net. His wife cried, his children looked at him with hungry eyes, and neighbors whispered that he should wait for charity or ask a rich relative for help. But this man, much like the sailor lost at sea, refused to wait for a savior. He picked up scraps of wood and nails, built carts, and began selling apples on the street. People laughed. From factory worker to apple seller, how pitiful. But the man smiled. He knew something most men never learn. The strongest rope you carry is the rope inside you. That man didn't just sell apples. He built enough trust with his customers to open a small shop, then a larger one. Within 10 years, he employed others who once mocked him. What rescued his family wasn't luck or charity. It was self-reliance. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of America's sharpest thinkers, put it best. Trust thyself, every heart vibrates to that iron string. Self-reliance is not stubborn pride. It is the quiet confidence that no matter the storm, you can steer your own ship. And here's the truth, you already have this rope inside you. Every problem in your life is waiting for you to test its strength. The day you stop leaning on others for rescue is the day you become free. 2. The sharp knife that shapes you. Rejection. As a secret gift in New Jersey, a boy was told by his teacher he was Too stupid to learn anything. Imagine being 8 years old and hearing that from the person who is supposed to build you up. Later, as a young man, he was fired from jobs because his ideas seemed crazy. His experiments failed thousands of times. His friends told him to give up. His name? Thomas Edison. Had Edison let rejection bury him, you and I would still be lighting candles in the dark. Instead, he understood that every no was a hammer strike shaping the steel of his character. Each failure was not a grave, but a signpost pointing him closer to the light bulb that changed history. Rejection is a hidden gift, but most people wrap it in bitterness and never open it. Think about a writer sending her stories to publishers. Every letter that says, "Not for us," feels like a wound. She can stop believing the world is against her, or she can use each rejection to sharpen her pen, refine her words, and write until her voice cannot be ignored. When you hear, "No," don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this teaching me?" Rejection is proof that you are trying something bold. It's the price of entering the arena while others sit safely in the stands. 3. The empty room that speaks. Loneliness as a hidden teacher. One of the strangest truths about greatness is this: the road is often walked alone. Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, wandered mountains alone, speaking only to his thoughts. People thought him mad. Yet, from those silent paths came ideas that shook the world. Loneliness feels like an enemy, but it is a stern teacher. It strips away noise, forces you to listen to your own mind, and introduces you to the one person you must know best, yourself. Imagine a shepherd high in the Rockies. The wind is sharp, the silence heavy. At first, it feels unbearable. But over time, he begins to notice details others miss. The way a storm announces itself hours before it arrives, the way the stars guide him at night, the way patience grows like grass under his feet. This is what loneliness gives: perception, strength, independence. The crowd teaches you to perform. Loneliness teaches you to be real. Try this small act. Spend an hour with no phone, no music, no company. Just you and your thoughts. At first, it will feel like noise. But wait. Beneath that noise is a voice you've ignored too long, your own. That voice is the root of your destiny. 4. Standing tall or staying small. No pity, only power. During World War II, when bombs fell over London and hope seemed lost, Winston Churchill stood before his people. He did not ask the world to pity Britain. He did not beg the enemy for mercy. Instead, he said words that lit fire in the hearts of his nation. "We shall never surrender." What many do not know is that Churchill himself wrestled with deep depression, which he called his black dog. He could have asked for pity. He could have quit. Instead, he turned his pain into power, becoming the unshakable pillar Britain needed. Here's the secret. Pity keeps you small, power makes you tall. Picture a young runner who falls hard in a race. Scraped knees, bleeding hands. The crowd gasps. They are ready to clap politely if she limps off the track. But instead, she pushes herself up, limps forward, and crosses the finish line. She may not win the medal, but she wins something no one can take away: respect for herself. The next time life knocks you flat, don't rush to tell everyone how unfair it was. Don't collect pity like candy. Instead, ask, what can I do right now to rise? Even the smallest action is a step toward power. 5. The soil beneath your feet. Turning pain into growth. Pain, rejection, loneliness, failure. These are the soils in which greatness grows. Most people want flowers without planting seeds, harvest without sweat, success without storms. But the strongest trees grow in the toughest soil. Every time you choose self-reliance over waiting, every time you use rejection as a hammer instead of a coffin, every time you learn from loneliness instead of fearing it, every time you pick power over pity, you are planting seeds in rich soil. And those seeds will grow into an unshakable life. 6. The fire that forges you, your true companion at the end of the day. When the crowd disappears, when the applause fades, when rejection letters gather, when loneliness knocks, when pity tempts, you will still have one companion left. That companion is you. This is the ultimate discovery. You were never alone, never weak, never abandoned. You carried the rope, the fire, the soil, the seed, the strength all along. The sooner you trust yourself, the sooner you step into freedom. Self-reliance is not about pushing people away. It is about knowing that if all else fails, you will not fail yourself. Rejection is not about shame. It is about growth. Loneliness is not emptiness. It is a classroom. Pity is not love. Power is. The man who understands these truths cannot be broken by storms. He walks through fire and comes out forged, not burned. And that man, my friend, can be you. Sparkles. That's part 3 rewritten, story-driven, simple, and in Napoleon Hill's inspiring voice. Would you like me to now expand this into a full 1,000-word count draft, with more narrative depth and examples inside each section, or keep it at this condensed story outline level? Part 4. The Hidden Gold Within Struggles 1. The hook. When life knocks hardest, there's a moment in every person's life when the world seems to close its doors. The lights go out, and you feel like you've been left standing in the dark. Some sit down and cry, waiting for someone to open the door for them. But a few, just a few, decide to find the key inside their own pocket. And that's where the gold lies. Napoleon Hill once said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." The problem is, most people never dig deep enough to find that seed. They only see the storm, never the rainbow hiding behind it. This part of your journey is about discovering that hidden gold inside struggles, learning to turn pain into progress, wounds into wisdom, and trials into treasures. 2. The boy who refused to stay down. In a small town, a boy was born with a speech problem. He couldn't pronounce words clearly. Other children mocked him. Teachers gave up on him. Even relatives whispered, "That boy will never amount to much." Now here's the twist. This boy did not accept their prophecy. He practiced speaking in front of a mirror. He read out loud to trees, to rivers, even to the walls of his room. He studied famous speakers and copied their voices until his tongue began to obey his will. Years later, that same boy became one of the greatest orators of his time. His name was Demosthenes, the Greek statesman whose speeches still inspire us centuries later. What happened here? The very thing that seemed like his curse, his weakness in speech, was what pushed him to greatness. If he had been born with perfect speech, he might have never worked so hard to master it. His weakness became his strength. His pain became his power. Your struggles are not walls meant to block you. They are ladders meant to raise you. 3. The farmer and the buried treasure. There is an old story of a farmer who, on his deathbed, told his sons, "In my fields lies buried treasure. Dig, and you will find it." When the farmer died, his sons dug eagerly. They plowed the soil, turned over every rock, searched every corner. They found no chest of gold. Disappointed, they stopped searching. But the following season, something happened. The land produced the richest harvest they had ever seen. That was the treasure their father had spoken of. It wasn't gold buried in the ground. It was the strength, discipline, and work ethic they developed by digging. Life works the same way. The treasure isn't always a bag of gold. Sometimes it's hidden in the sweat, the discipline, and the lessons you gain from digging through hardships. 4. The businessman who lost it all. During the Great Depression, thousands of men lost everything: homes, savings, businesses. One businessman, once wealthy, saw his company collapse overnight. Friends turned their backs on him. His reputation was ruined. He could have begged for pity, drowned in shame, or blamed the government. Instead, he remembered something Napoleon Hill taught. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. He started again, this time with nothing but his mind and his determination. With no capital, he began trading small, building relationships, and serving customers personally. Slowly, he rebuilt his fortune. This man later said losing everything was the best thing that ever happened to him, because it stripped away his pride and taught him to build stronger foundations. His story proves a timeless law: losing material things is not true loss. Real loss is losing faith in yourself. As long as you hold on to that faith, you can rebuild stronger than before. 5. The hidden teacher in failure. Let's pause here and ask, why do so many people quit when failure comes? The answer is simple: they mistake failure for a finish line. But failure is not an end. It is a teacher. Thomas Edison said he did not fail 1,000 times when inventing the light bulb. He simply found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Each failure was a note in the lesson book of success. Imagine a young boxer entering the ring. He gets knocked down in the first round. He could walk away, humiliated, and never fight again. But if he stays, studies his mistakes, and learns how to defend better, each punch teaches him how to grow. Eventually, the same punches that once knocked him down cannot move him anymore. Failure hardened him into a champion. Your failures are not proof you are weak. They are proof you are trying. And every attempt brings you closer to the strength you need. 6. Turning your wounds into weapons. Every scar tells a story. Some people hide their scars in shame. Others wear them like badges. The difference is simple. One group sees their wounds as proof of defeat, the other sees them as proof of survival. Winston Churchill had his black dog of depression. Abraham Lincoln battled deep sadness most of his life. Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, turned her suffering into a legacy of inspiration. The truth is this: life will wound you. You cannot escape it. But you can choose what to do with those wounds. You can lick them and wait for pity, or you can sharpen them into weapons of wisdom. Every time you rise from pain, you carry with you a new tool to guide others. Your story becomes light for someone else walking in the dark. That is the hidden gold of struggle. It not only shapes you, it gives you power to help others. Final words. Your gold is waiting. Think back to the last hard thing you faced. Did you see only the pain, or did you search for the lesson hidden in it? Did you stop digging when you saw no treasure, or did you trust that the act of digging itself was the treasure? Here is the secret most never learn. Life's gold is never handed to you. It is buried inside your struggles. When you trust yourself, rejection becomes your teacher. When you walk with loneliness, wisdom whispers to you. When you refuse pity, power becomes your companion. When you embrace failure, success is already on its way. Your story is still being written. And every trial you face is not a period, it's a comma. It's leading you to the next chapter of strength. So the next time life knocks, don't sit in the dark waiting for a rescuer. Reach into your pocket. The key has always been there. Unlock the door. Step into the light. And claim the gold waiting for you. Sparkles. That's part 4, written in the same tone as Napoleon Hill, about 1,000 words, story-driven, simple, motivating. Would you like me to now continue directly with part 5, or do you prefer I expand part 4 with more real American success stories, like Henry Ford, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, before moving ahead? Part 5, The Master Key, Desire and Definite Purpose. 1. The hook, the engine that drives all success. Picture a car with a powerful engine but no fuel. It will never move, no matter how perfectly it is built. Now picture a tiny match. It can light a fire that burns down a forest. That's the difference between a life with desire and a life without it. Napoleon Hill said, "The starting point of all achievement is desire. Without burning desire, no plan will survive. No discipline will last. No vision will come to life." Desire is the fuel, the fire, the heartbeat of every great success story. This chapter is about that fire. How to build it, how to direct it, and how to use it to unlock your definite purpose in life. 2. The boy who wanted candy. There's a story about a boy in Georgia who wanted 5 cents to buy candy. He went to his uncle, who was busy working. The uncle told him to go away. The boy didn't move. The uncle frowned, raised his voice, and told him again to leave. Still, the boy stood his ground. Finally, the uncle put down his tools, reached into his pocket, and gave the boy the nickel. That boy grew up to become one of Napoleon Hill's most powerful examples of desire in action. Hill said that memory taught him the meaning of persistence and burning want. That simple story proves something important. Life does not give its rewards to those who whisper weak wishes. It only bends to those who demand with unshakable desire. 3. The secret of Henry Ford. When Henry Ford first dreamed of building an affordable car for everyday Americans, the world laughed. Cars were for the rich, playthings of the wealthy. But Ford's desire burned too strong to be stopped. He failed several times. Investors doubted him. Factories collapsed. Yet he never lost sight of his definite purpose, to put America on wheels. His desire was so strong that it attracted the people, the resources, and the opportunities he needed. Soon, the Model T rolled out, and Ford didn't just build a car, he transformed the world. What does this teach us? When you have a definite purpose, fueled by burning desire, the world eventually makes room for you. 4. Desire without purpose is dangerous, but there's a warning here. Desire without direction is like fire in a dry forest. It destroys. Many people want things. They want money, they want happiness, they want success. But when you ask them, what exactly do you want? What's your purpose? They cannot answer. Napoleon Hill called this drifting, living life without a definite chief aim. Drifters chase one thing today and another tomorrow. They never stay long enough on one path to succeed. Think of a ship without a captain. It has sails, it has wood, it has strength. But without a direction, the waves carry it wherever the wind blows. Most people live exactly like that. But when you combine burning desire with a clear purpose, you become unstoppable. Your mind focuses. Your energy multiplies. You stop drifting and start driving. 5. The story of Edison's light. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb because it was easy. He did it because his desire to bring light to darkness burned so hot that failure couldn't stop him. 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, he failed. People mocked him. Newspapers laughed at him. But Edison had two things, a burning desire and a definite purpose. His desire was to solve the problem of light. His purpose was clear. Because of that, he kept testing, kept failing, and kept trying again until one day the light came on and changed the world forever. What is the lesson? Desire alone makes you hungry. But desire combined with definite purpose makes you legendary. 6. How to build your own fire. Now let's bring this home to you. Maybe you are not trying to invent the light bulb. Maybe you are not building cars. But the same law applies to your life. Here's how to use this master key. 1. Write down exactly what you want. Don't say, I want money. Write down, I will earn $50,000 a year doing work I love. 2. Set a date. Your desire needs a deadline. A goal without a timeline is just a dream. 3. Plan small steps. Write down what you can do today, this week, this month. 4. Read it daily. Morning and night, remind yourself of your burning desire. Say it out loud. 5. Feel it. Don't just think it, feel it in your chest. Imagine already living it. Desire is not a wish, it is an obsession. When you do this, you give your mind a definite purpose. The more you repeat it, the more your subconscious begins to act like a magnet, pulling opportunities toward you. 7. The fire that changes you. When you develop burning desire, something amazing happens, you change. You stop complaining about problems and start hunting for solutions. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, how can I? You attract people who feel your fire. You inspire them to join you. They see your determination, and it ignites their own. That's how movements start, how revolutions begin, how dreams turn into reality. Napoleon Hill discovered this after interviewing men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. None of them were born extraordinary. What set them apart was their fire, their desire, and their definite purpose. Final words. Your turn to burn. So let me ask you, what do you really want? Not what your parents told you to want. Not what society says you should want. What burns inside you when you close your eyes at night? That is your clue. That is your gold. Stop drifting. Stop waiting. Write it down. Build the fire. Light your match. Because once you set your heart on fire with definite purpose, nothing in the world can put it out. And when that fire burns, you don't just survive, you shine. Sparkles. That's part 5, written in the same Napoleon Hill-inspired, story-driven style, around 1,000 words, clear for American readers. Would you like me to now prepare the final part 6 with a powerful call-to-action conclusion that ties the entire book together? Part 6. Becoming Unstoppable. The final step. 1. The hook. The day you stop waiting. Imagine standing at a train station. You've been waiting for hours, then days, then years. You keep hoping the train will come, the train of luck, the train of support, the train of someone saving you. But here is the truth, that train isn't coming. The sooner you stop waiting and start walking down the tracks yourself, the sooner you'll reach your destination. That's when life changes. That's when you stop being invisible and start becoming unstoppable. Napoleon Hill's greatest discovery after studying hundreds of millionaires was simple. Success comes to those who decide, who act, who rely on themselves, who never quit, and who keep their eyes fixed on a definite purpose. This last part will show you how to put it all together so you can finally live on your own terms. 2. The man who refused to quit. Hill tells the story of R.U. Darby, who joined the gold rush with his uncle. They dug and dug until they struck gold. Excited, they bought machines and brought investors. For a while, everything looked promising, but soon the gold vein disappeared. They kept digging, but nothing. Tired and hopeless, they quit. They sold their machines for scrap to a junk dealer. That junk dealer was no fool. He hired an engineer to study the land. The engineer discovered the gold vein had shifted, just 3 feet from where Darby and his uncle had stopped. The junk dealer dug 3 more feet and became a millionaire. What's the lesson? Most people quit 3 feet from gold. They stop too soon. They give up when success is just around the corner. To be unstoppable, you must refuse to quit. Decide today that no matter how many failures come, no matter how many rejections, you will keep digging. Because your gold is waiting. 3. Building your inner army. Napoleon Hill also wrote about the power of the mastermind, a small group of people who share your vision and help you grow. Even the strongest person sometimes needs others who believe in them. Think of Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in American history. He built steel empires, but he did not do it alone. He surrounded himself with people who knew what he didn't, who encouraged him when things got hard, and who gave him strength when his own burned low. You don't need an empire to build a mastermind. You can start with 1 or 2 people who want to see you win. Choose them wisely. Share your purpose with them. Let them hold you accountable. With this inner army, you are never truly alone. 4. The test of faith. Every person who rises to greatness passes through the same test, the test of faith. When no one believes in you, when money runs out, when doors slam in your face, when silence weighs on you like a heavy stone, that is when you must believe in yourself more than ever. Napoleon Hill said, "Faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought." Faith is not blind hope. Faith is trained vision. It's the ability to see your dream before anyone else sees it. It's holding on to your purpose when the world calls you foolish. Think of the Wright brothers. Everyone laughed when they said humans could fly. People mocked them, newspapers ridiculed them, scientists dismissed them. But the brothers had faith in their vision. They kept testing, kept failing, kept trying. And one day, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the world saw 2 men lift off the ground, and history was changed forever. Without faith, they would have quit. With faith, they gave mankind wings. 5. From dreamer to doer. Dreams without action are fantasies. Wishes without work are lies we tell ourselves. Napoleon Hill didn't just tell people to dream big. He told them to act big. To write their definite purpose, to repeat it every day, to move toward it, even when progress was slow. Think about it this way: a farmer doesn't plant seeds today and expect a harvest tomorrow. He waters them, protects them, and keeps working, knowing the harvest will come in due season. Your life works the same way. Plant the seed of desire. Water it with persistence. Shine the sunlight of faith on it daily. Then, when the season is right, your harvest will appear. 6. The last step. Becoming the leader of yourself. At the end of all his studies, Napoleon Hill discovered this: the greatest victory is not over others, it is over yourself, over your doubts, over your excuses, over your fears, over your need for approval. When you master yourself, no one can stop you. You don't wait for permission. You don't beg for validation. You don't quit when things get hard. You become the kind of person others look up to. Not because you chased applause, but because you built strength in silence. You became your own master. 7. A call to action. Your turn now. It is your turn. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for applause. Pick your definite purpose today. Write it down. Feel it in your heart. See it in your mind. Say it every morning and every night. Take 1 step every day toward it. When life knocks you down, get back up. When rejection stings, turn it into fuel. When silence feels heavy, let it sharpen your focus. Because the truth is this: no one is coming to hand you your dream. You must build it with your own 2 hands. And when you do, when you stop waiting and start creating, you will discover what Napoleon Hill discovered: you are far more powerful than you ever imagined. So here is the challenge: share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Commit today to live by it, and promise yourself that from this moment forward, you will never again be invisible. Because you are building a life too bright to ignore. The world is waiting for your fire. Now light it. Fire, that's the final part 6, written in Napoleon Hill's inspiring, story-rich style, about 1,000 words, ending with a direct call to action for readers to live the philosophy and share it. If this story has sparked something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to stay inspired with more lessons on success and personal power. Backhand index pointing right. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that their dream is still alive. Backhand index pointing right. Comment below with your biggest takeaway. I'd love to hear how you're applying these principles in your life. Your journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Rock it.